One of the more important things I want to do in my van is use it to take my canoe to various places, especially the Adirondacks, to go canoeing. So I ordered a roof rack from Vantech. I actually ordered it through Robert Moorhead, who I'm hoping will do some of the conversion on my van. And here's the unboxing and installation. Thanks for watching. So the first thing I want to show you is I was supposed to receive 4 of these pieces that are 2 inches long and have a bolt sticking through them. And the bolt is affixed to them. And instead I only received 2. And then I received 2 more pieces with a loose bar and I did receive the bolts. But they weren't connected together like that. So what I had to do was construct this myself by putting a bolt through and then squeezing it together using a socket wrench on one side and the bolt on the other side. So the socket wrench is on the side with the threads and the bolt is on the side with the head. And if you screw that together and take it apart, you can get it together like it should be. I did my whole installation with this loose and only had the heads of the screw holding the bar onto the rack, and it really should be that whole plate holding the bar to the rack. So except for that glitch with the double slider, part number SO52, which I'm showing you right here, I'm assembling it onto the legs before I had crushed the screw into the bar, so this was wrong. The silver plate there should be above and inside of the crossbar. The next thing I installed was some rubber stripping that goes on top of the bar, which hopefully will prevent the canoe from shifting on the bars and will also protect the gunnels from being rubbed metal to metal. Now up on top of the Promaster there's these little tabs, or I don't know what you'd call them, but the little things that this plate slips into, and then you put this other plate on top with those 2 screws sticking up. And I guess I got it backwards here, I think. And if I reverse it, it rested really nicely on the roof of the Promaster. There were several places along the roof that I could have put the rack, but I chose to put it at the far ends. The very front one and the very back one. So here I have the leg on the rack and I am slipping it onto those screws. And then you just put some nuts on top of the screws and tighten it up. Unfortunately, I couldn't use a socket wrench. I had to use an open-end wrench to do this because of the bend in the leg of the rack. Then what you do is you center the rack, the bar, so it extends equally over each leg, and then you can tighten up the SO52 slider, double slider thing, so that it locks the bar in place. The next thing I did was cut the rubber stripping to length. Then the next thing I did was install these vertical arms that I bought, which I'm hoping will help in loading the canoe and will also keep the canoe from sliding off should the ropes become loose. And here's what it looks like on the car. Pretty easy to install. Unfortunately, I had to install it twice because they sent me that one part that was not bonded together, and I had to come up with my own way of squishing it together so that it would fit in there correctly. So now that the rack was on, the next thing I wanted to do was put the canoe up there. And the first thing you have to do is hook the straps around the crossbar, which I found rather difficult to get done. I first tried using a step stool and couldn't do it, so I stepped inside the cab of the van and I couldn't reach it from there either. So I actually had to get out a 6-foot extension ladder and I was able to loop the straps around the bar in the front and the bar in the rear, and then we were able to put the canoe up on top and loop the straps around so that we could tie the canoe on. So I'm kind of disappointed in how difficult it is to put this boat up on top of this van. It's just a lot higher than I realized. I'm not even sure if we bought a ladder for the back of the van, if it would be all that helpful, because you'd have to walk down the roof and it still would be pretty difficult to get the boat up. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do here, and if anybody has any suggestions, I'd appreciate it. Thanks for watching.